there. Thank you so very much for that very, very warm welcome. I truly appreciate it, and it is an honor for me to stand before you and share a little bit about my experiences going through my club when I was growing up. But before I go there, I just got to give a shout out to table number 14. 15 as well. But thank you. And, I've been asked, oh, did you go to the club? And were you a part of the Boys and Girls Club? The true, really, sense of it was that when I was coming up, you're talking about you all celebrating 50 years. It's really a great honor, to be affiliated with an organization for 50 years. We know how difficult and how hard it is during these trying times and how easy it is for people to turn their back on you. So for me, growing up in East St. Louis, I grew up in what was called the Boys Club. It wasn't a girls' club. Girls weren't included. But my executive director at that time didn't discriminate. I was a little girl looking on the outside. And a lot of my male friends that I played with would always pick me to be on their basketball team. And just because it was a boys' club, they let me come in. And that, to me, gave me a foundation of knowing that people care about you. It didn't matter if I was a girl or if I was a boy. I was welcome. I went in through those doors, and I learned to strategize. I learned to figure out things. I learned what I liked and I didn't like. I learned to work with people. I learned to be respectful. I also learned to respect myself. I also learned to love myself, not in a narcissistic way, but a way that I know who I am. And on my journey of just trying to make my parents proud, that boys' club ended up closing. And because it closed, we, as young people, sometimes take things for granted. And we don't realize that we don't have a safe place to go. We find ourselves running up and down the streets or doing things that could cause us more harm than good. So I was fortunate enough to go over to a community center. And at that community center, I worked with a librarian. At that time, we check out books. There wasn't no Google. Couldn't Google anything. Had to learn how to go up and down the aisles and get the book. But then also work with seniors, and they became part of my extended family because I didn't really know my grandparents, and my mom and dad were teenagers when they had my brother and myself. My mom and dad was 14 and 16. But my mom instilled in us to be respectful. For me, being the oldest girl, even though my brother was the oldest, is that she was afraid that she didn't want me to get pregnant at a young age. And sports really gave me an opportunity to really focus on my dreams and focus on my goals of just trying to be the best that I could be. I didn't know that God had blessed me with an athletic gift that allowed me eventually to pick my school of choice, be able to travel the world, and meet people from all walks of life. But I recognize that the blessings that have come my way is because people believed in me and saw the potential that I did not know that I had. And it's because of leaders like each and every one of you that are sitting before me, that what you do for the Boys and Girls Club, it truly makes a difference. And we're going through some real trying times. And I remember when I was first opened my doors and I was doing my work, and at one time I was heavily funded on foundations and grants. Then all of a sudden, the world started to change. And then those grants was pulled away. And I had to flip my way of thinking. And I had to go from being 94% on foundations and grants, and I had to go into individual giving. And because of that individual giving, it has allowed me to build a community center in my hometown where people always say nothing good come from my community. But for me, I go back in that community. I could have chosen to stay in Los Angeles after I graduated from UCLA, but it was so important that the young people in my community be able to touch me and talk to me and know that it's possible. The impossible is probable, you know, and doing that has allowed me to continue to strive to be, you know, hopefully a beacon of hope for communities throughout this nation. I give my time to the Boys and Girls Club because they give to each and every one of us. You know, their motto and their theme, you know, great future starts here. And the future can't be bright, it can't be great without the support of each and every one of you. You know, you might not have the finances, but you have gifts, you have a treasure, and you can bring those through the doors. Even if you come and be a mentor, you know, walk through the doors of the Boys and Girls Club, and you be embraced with young people just giving you a hug. You'll see an engaging staff. You'll see so many people just trying to make a difference in the lives of so many young people. So I wrap it up by saying that I am forever in debt to people like you. I might not know each and every one of you by name, but I feel your love and I feel your warmth. And I will challenge you to continue to love your community, continue to embrace it and share that warmth, because the next person that's going to come after me is going to knock you off your feet, because she's an incredible young lady and has an encouraging and beautiful story to share. Thank you.